Hey everyone, just wanted to add this quick introduction before we dive into this interview. I just want to thank you all for listening. This is a very special edition. This is the 50th episode of the Business Blast podcast. So we already have 50. And today's episode is with Rosemary. She's a great friend of mine. She has a lot of wisdom to share with you. So I really hope you enjoy it. And thanks again for joining me on the 50th episode of the Business Blast podcast. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner, and today I have Rosemary Shapiro-Liu. She's the director of Triple Win Enterprises and the author of The Mentor Within. So, Rosemary, I'm very happy to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So we'll dive right in. The first question I have for you is, what's the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
When I was very young, I had a wonderful nanny called Marjorie in Bacoma. And she always used to say, there's nothing like I can't. It didn't matter what I brought to her. She had this attitude that there was nothing like I can't. And since I've learned that, I've taken it into a lot of my work. And people realize that they stand in their own way with a monster inside themselves. When they get that out the way, they realize there really is nothing like I can't.
And what's the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Every time you work with clients, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's in a group, whether it's in a community, ask them what is the best outcome of what can happen in that particular time that you're with them. What would be best for them? Because then they're taking control of what it is that they want to have happen, and they can help to make it happen. So I love asking that in big groups, and people actually reach their own expectations because they've set them.
I agree that 100%. What's your best piece of overall business advice? So not necessarily like industry specific.
Every person that I work with and every person that I come in contact with that does this one thing seriously manages to change whatever it is that's getting in their way. And that is a once a week management with self meeting. Time to spend to have a look at your goals, your direction, the design of your life, as my colleague Jill McLaren would say, and to ensure that you spend the time making a plan for short-term and long-term that you can assess weekly. A management meeting with self once a week.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't wait. Don't wait for anything. Don't wait till the time is right. Don't wait until you've got the knowledge. Don't wait until you've had the experience. Do it, try it, get out there. I think I've done that, but there are a few more things that I certainly don't want to wait for.
And in your opinion, what's the key to happiness?
The key to happiness is ensuring that you're in contact with your mentor within. All of us have an inner wisdom, and if we can access it and live close to that inner wisdom rather than running away from it and allowing a monster to get in our way, we can learn to mentor ourselves. And when we mentor ourselves well, we find happiness.
And what's the best book you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from it?
I can't say the best book I've read. There are so many that have given me so much. But I loved Andrew Griffith's The Me Myth, which is about getting out of your own way and ensuring that you really understand that you're not that precious and not that special. There's a lot going on in the world, and you need to be realistic about who you are and what role you play in the world.
And what's your favorite quote and why?
I absolutely love Maya Angelou's quote, which is, "You'll never stop silently loving those you once loved out loud." And I think that's to do with the things that we do in life. It's to do with the places that we've lived. I'll never stop silently loving Cape Town, where I once lived for a long time, and the people that I've met. But sometimes you can't love those things out loud to yourself. You just need to acknowledge that they're deep in your soul.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. I have one last question for you, and that is, where's the best place people can find you online?
Best at triplewin.com.au.
Perfect. Thanks again, Rosemary. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Tyler.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.